Welcome everybody to the iNoslen podcast, where we talk about all Apple tech rumors and anything else we can come up with. Alright, welcome back everybody. This is episode number 31 of the iNoslen podcast show on November 6th, 2013. I'm your host, Nazem Morjan, and this is the iNoslen podcast show, and we're going to get everything started with the rumors. Alright, so let's jump into the rumors now. Well, here we are. iPhone 5S has been out for a good while now. More than a month, and we've been able to enjoy the living daylights out of it, or at least I have. I have truly enjoyed owning this phone. It was probably the best upgrade I've made in a while. Totally worth the money. But the big thing that I'm worried about now is the iPhone 6. And Tech Radar has this great story about the iPhone 6 release date and some rumors associated with it. The biggest thing that I seen here was 2014, but we already know that. They've already released a phone this year, so they're not going to release another one. There's a few points that they cover here in the story. One of them is about the iPhone 6 casing, and they check some mocked up images by an artist called Peter Zajic. I hope I didn't mess up your last name. If I did, sorry, man. Either way, though, they said there were 3 different handsets. The first one was an iPhone 6 mini, an iPhone 6, and an iPhone 6s, XL. So now, this is, one of those things. Can Apple really be working on multiple products? Well, they were working on multiple products this year. Why not next year? Could there be a iPhone 6 mini? Well, they could have that. What they would do is basically just keep the same 4-inch screen and then maybe make the iPhone 6 and the 6XL a little bit larger, maybe half-inch increments. One be a 4.5-inch and the one above that be a 5-inch. Now, this is a pretty big stretch for what Apple normally does, so for something like this to come to fruition, well, I would love to see it either way. I think it'd be cool. Maybe start to get a little bit bigger screen. I'm not worried about owning one right now. I am more than satisfied with my iPhone 5S, so really this isn't going to concern me. This is more for everybody that's on the upgrade cycle for the even number phone, or in this case, the iPhone 6. Now, will Apple be bringing out NFC finally? Well, let's see. I don't think it's necessary, and really, you don't really need it. I mean, when you use AirDrop, if you're on Wi-Fi and you've got your Bluetooth turned on and you've got it set to your contacts only, anybody who is one of your contacts who's on the Bluetooth and is using Wi-Fi on the same network, you guys can send each other files very simply and easily. You can send videos, you can send pictures, and I haven't really tried anything else yet, but if I find something else out, I'll let you guys know. The next big thing that they were talking about is iOS 8. Now, I'm looking forward to this as well. Since iOS 7 was such a big change, what can iOS 8 really bring? Hopefully, a lot of changes to what the phone can do, or if they'll ever upgrade, how many things we can actually share to. Will they finally let third-party apps tie into some of these APIs and be able to have the phone do more things with third parties? I don't think so. Apple's pretty closed. They probably won't ever do that, but I know that they've been opening up the software a little bit to give people a little bit more use of the M7 processor and a few other things that are going on there. The next thing in the story is the storage. Will the iPhone 6 get 128 gigs of storage? Well, that would be freaking awesome too. I probably would never need anything like that because I don't have that much stuff. That's for somebody who really wants to carry their whole library around on their phone, which honestly, I don't really need that. I've got my MacBook Pro. That's where I have most of my stuff anyway. My phone's really to use it for a phone. I got some emails on there. I send some text messages. I call people. I listen to music sometime. Maybe I'll take some pictures every once in a while. But the main focus of me using my phone anyway is to really just to listen to podcasts and call people. I mean, that's really what I do. The last couple of things I wanted to go over in this story, which I found were pretty interesting, was the IGZO display. Now, they talked about this last year and at the beginning of this year when we were talking about the release of the iPhone 5S and if they would ever go to using this new IGZO display, and they have not released it as of yet. So, well, we won't know if they're actually going to do it, or will they finally release one of the new iPhones next year with this updated 1080p Full HD resolution display. Alright, so let's jump into some news today from Mac Rumors, and they're talking about the iPad Air adoption outpacing last year's iPad 4 and iPad mini launches. This is a great story. They talk about the fact that 2 days after the iPad Air launched, the new tablet share of overall iPad activity is 5 times that of the iPad 4 and more than 3 times that of the iPad mini following their launches last year. Now, if you ask me, that just proves that this new body style that we already knew was going to happen is better. It's lighter. It's done more for what people want, and that's to be able to have a big screen and not be so heavy. Because that was the thing with the iPad 4 and 3 and the iPad 2. They were a little heavy. The iPad 3 was mostly because of the Retina display, and they had to make it a little thicker, so it was going to be a little bit heavier, and the battery and everything else that they had to put in there. And it didn't perform too well, so they replaced it 6 months later with the iPad 4, which was a little bit lighter, but still pretty heavy in the hands. So if you've got a faster, lighter iPad, why wouldn't you upgrade? I mean, if I had the iPad 4 and I knew that this was coming out, I probably would have bought it. But I'm pretty happy with my little iPad mini. Yeah, I know it came out last year, and so what? That's what it is. It's just a little base pad to use it, and that's what I wanted to have. I didn't need the most expensive thing on the market. I mean, technically I could go out and buy it, but I really didn't need it. At least for not what I utilize it for, and that's, mostly watching some movies, and maybe I'll do a FaceTime call, call home to the parents, or call some other family members or some friends or whatever. But I mean, it's pretty basic. So either way, whatever you use your iPad for, the iPad Air is pretty awesome. You guys should check that out. All right, so let's move on to the last story of the day, and this has to do with Apple building the sapphire glass manufacturing plant in Arizona. If you ask me, this is just Apple showing how much they really want to try and bring back jobs and opportunities and continue to grow America. If this doesn't prove it here, I don't know what else to say. They started with Texas, and now they're moving into Mesa, Arizona. And according to the story, what they're going to be doing is building the blue sapphire glass. I guess that Apple's going to be using somewhere in the phones. I don't know for what, other than they said there was going to be about 2,000 jobs, 700 at first, and then 1,300 jobs later for all kinds of related, things like construction and whatever else they had. So, sounds pretty good. I'm pretty happy for this. I think that Apple should definitely invest in something like this. Being that they do use glass a lot in their phones, well, currently anyway. So what would they do with this? I'm not sure. According to this report, though, it suggests that Apple has experimented with sapphire displays, but found them infeasible. And additionally, Corning has claimed its Gorilla Glass 3 is a better glass solution than sapphire. So what are you going to do? Do you want Gorilla Glass? Do you want your own special Apple-only sapphire glass? Take your pick. I'll take whatever Apple sells me because I'm sure it'll probably be the best choice either way. Well, that brings me to the end of the show. You can always email us at iNoslenShow@gmail.com. You can always follow me at iNoslenShow, and you can always check me out on my website, iNoslenShow.podbean.com. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you next week.